Welcome back to Absolutely. My name is Benny. That is Sal. And Sal, I am wore out and apparently in the dark. I don't know what happened here. I've just run myself into the ground, and that also turned off my lights. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, there we go. All right, welcome to today's episode.
Okay.
So, Sal, a lot of news came out. We had San Diego. We had, what's-his-face, the whole DC thing. But that has led to them stating one key thing that I want to talk about today here on Absolutely. Which, by the way, guys, if this is your first time at Absolutely, it's just a bunch of guys sitting down talking about the latest movies and news. We review and discuss superhero-themed TV shows and everything going on. And one of our sponsors is G Fuel, which the can is back there, but you can't see it. Use the code COMICS at checkout. Get yourself some G Fuel. And our other sponsor now, Into the AM. A t-shirt brand that I sneakily bought shirts from to make sure they weren't garbage. They told me I didn't have to do that, and they would send it. And I said, well, then I don't trust what you would have sent in that package, so I bought my own.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I want to see what
Both
you would
links
send
will be
to
down
my
below,
customers.
though. But today's topic is going to be, what does it mean when they state that the DC Universe is going to have a 10-year plan and will be rebooted / restarted?
Right, they have no idea what that means.
They've said
I'm gonna tell you
both
right now.
things, which is annoying.
Yeah, no, they don't know. We have seen firsthand that Hollywood, the pioneers and kind of like progenitors of the term reboot and relaunch and restart, don't know what those words mean. We know what they mean, and we know what they're supposed to mean because in the world of comics, we know what those words mean because we've seen them implemented. But Hollywood has no idea what that means. For them, a reboot, even if, like, for us, a reboot is Batman and Robin to Batman Begins. That's a reboot.
Yeah.
New universe, new cast, new tones, possibly. That's a reboot.
Yeah.
For Hollywood executives, a reboot is, for them, starting over. Internally, in their minds.
Right, because there's already talks of them bringing back Henry Cavill. Apparently they might bring back Batfleck. Like, who knows what's going on?
Yeah, they don't have any respect for the terminologies that they themselves pioneered. So we can't trust what they're saying when they talk about reboots. We have to assume that they may mean a straight-up reboot where it's like new universe, new casting, a la Batman, the Schumacher-verse to Batman Begins, but maybe not, because what you said, Cavill, Batfleck, Peacemaker,
which has led. Let's go to the first part of this rumor, okay?
Yeah.
I want to go through each rumor that is flying from this reboot.
Yeah.
So, based on the fact that apparently Henry Cavill is in talks to return, but now is demanding more money, and goddamn, he should.
He damn well should.
I guarantee the check they paid him in 2011's Man of Steel is not the check he's going to be getting now.
No.
You know,
even just for being dicked around for so many years.
I'd be holding that cape hostage. Like, wait, hold on. You want to get me back now?
Right? Good luck recasting.
Yeah. The whole world has said they want me back, so screw you.
Yeah.
The first rumor that I've seen coming out of it is the Snyder Bros coming back. Now, before we go on, it's going to sound negative. I am a fan of the Snyderverse, and I would love to see it come back, but I'm also a realist who realizes that the chances of this returning are slim to none. Because that's what I want to go into. So let's assume for a moment DC liked the Snyderverse, like the guys in charge, and they approach.
The new management is like, oh my god, one of the things you guys did right was Zack Snyder and the universe you created.
Right. Let's assume that for a moment. First off, the Snyderverse was very divisive. Like from Man of Steel to Batman v Superman to Justice League, it was divisive. There were fans who hated it and loved it. So first reason I don't think we're getting the Snyderverse back is because I don't think they're going to go in with a fresh look on the DC universe and grab one of the most divisive things that has created one of the most toxic situations DC and Warner Brothers have dealt with in a while. Between the Ray Fisher situation, the Homada situation, between the treatment of Zack Snyder, between the supposed bots from Zack Snyder, it is such a toxic and volatile situation. I really doubt they're going to come back and be like, yo, give him whatever he wants. Bring back the Snyderverse.
Yeah, let's jump right back into that pool. No.
Yeah, and on top of that, the whole story's been leaked.
Right.
So
we know how it would end anyway.
Yeah. And people were, again, divisive between that. So I don't think that's going to happen. But Sal, what do you think about the return of the Snyderverse? This is where it's probably going to go negative, guys, even though I love it.
Right. We're here because of it. Like, we're in this position now. Really, Warner Brothers Discovery is in this situation because of it.
I didn't even think of that, yeah.
If it was working, we wouldn't be here. If it had worked and was successful, we wouldn't be here. It's
right, because
not.
they wouldn't have fired him and brought in Joss Whedon.
They wouldn't have fired anybody. They wouldn't be having these issues. They'd have the full legal force of Warner Brothers Discovery behind Ezra Miller. Like, there would be a united front that protects and insulates the Snyderverse. There isn't one, and they themselves have sabotaged it. And I don't mean to say that, like, there was infighting or that there was some deliberate attempt to ruin it. I'm just saying that, like, they sabotaged it by firing Snyder and trying to create other avenues to make money, like playing in the universe and having their cake and eat it too by having like the Birds of Prey universe that's half Snyder, half something new, and then the Batman, which is just straight up not Snyder. Like, they would not be doing that if they had belief in it. So I don't think they're gonna invite the kind of controversy that you talked about earlier by wading full hog into this thing, or by embracing it and saying, like, you know what? Enough time's passed. Let's just get back into the Snyderverse, call everybody back. We're going to have to smooth over relations with 1 million people. We're going to have to convince creatives to come back to this thing. And we got to convince them that we're not going to get cold feet like we did before, which the creatives would have no reason to believe in the first place. So, like, I don't believe that the Snyderverse is even a possibility. Like, I don't think that's on the table at all. If anything, they have a really complicated situation where they're going to be like, how can we move forward while further pushing more Snyderverse elements away? Like, they have to deal with remnants of the Snyderverse that may not have anything to do with Zack Snyder, but still are remaining, like the Peacemaker universe having the Justice League in it, including Ezra Miller and Jason Momoa. The Aquaman universe still working with Jason Momoa. Wonder Woman being the BVS Wonder Woman. Like, there are still things that they consider that work, but are also inexorably connected to the Snyderverse. So they're going to either have to have, like, universal altering chicanery, or they're just going to have to say, it's a reboot, but these people are still playing those characters. Like, it's so complicated.
I do want to clarify one thing, because someone's like, oh, I thought he left because of failures. Technically, Zack Snyder left the project because of family issues, but as it's come out now, he was getting a lot of pushback from WB. There was a lot of things going on at the time, so when that happened, it was like I'll leave, you guys don't fire me, I don't technically quit, we have a reason. So that's the on paper what happened to Zack Snyder. So
Right.
But the reaction from WB, if they intended to continue with the Snyderverse or weren't going to fire him, would have been, let's just bring him back and push the movie back.
Exactly.
Instead, they brought in Joss Whedon and revamped the whole universe.
Right.
Which is what I was going to say. I'm pretty sure the Gal Gadot and all that is real. Because we had that leak, supposedly, that WB is stating, no, there is one Justice League, and it is the Joss Whedon one that we made.
Right, but the Joss Whedon one is still Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, whether you want to label it Zack Snyder or not, Zack Snyder was involved in the casting, the tone, the universe from which they came.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon's Justice League is in the Zack Snyder universe.
Yeah.
All the characters in Joss Whedon's Justice League are sprung from the stories that were engineered by Zack Snyder. Ergo, that's the Snyderverse.
No, I agree. Well, and you're right. It's like a variation on the Snyderverse that we are now dealing with.
But it's the same stuff. Like, whether Warner Brothers wants to admit it or not, the movie-going public is going to go, the watch order is Man of Steel, BVS, Wonder Woman. Like, whereas maybe they would prefer to go, no. The watch order is Justice League, and then these. Like, that's not in any reality how it works. And so they're not going to, like, if they were smart and they had a 10-year plan, which I don't necessarily believe, then they would probably be smart to reboot from the ground up. Like, it's a shame to lose Momoa, Godot, John Cena, etc.
Well,
but
I think that was the plan with Flashpoint.
Right.
So,
well, that's why they're not throwing it away. That's why they're not backgirling Flash, even though Ezra Miller has worked very hard to make that movie not happen.
I don't know what is going through this guy's head. What is happening?
I don't know. But they are 100% committed to this Flashpoint movie, and I think it's because it's the linchpin from which they can have their cake and eat it too. Like,
right. Keep the heroes they want. but they can
Keep the heroes they
restart
want,
everything.
But restart. Exactly.
You have some clear line in here that's like, this is new, this is fresh, this is the beginning of a brand new era.
Yeah.
And like, boom, and we got Cavill, Ben Affleck, Gal Gadot, like they're all there. You know what I mean? Like,
right. You can't do that and have a restart. Like, you can pick and choose, but again, like, I just think it's folly to start your universe with a 50-year-old Batman.
Yeah.
Since
it was
Dark
a terrible
Knight
idea.
Returns,
I agree.
He's 55 in The Dark Knight Returns, which is arguably Batman's last story.
I mean, I would love if the Flashpoint movie brought in Robert Pattinson and we still got to do the solo Batman movies.
Yeah.
But he pops in for cameos in other locations.
I'd be okay with that too. I mean, like, I think that the restart. I mean, I don't know if that's like a segment you want to dedicate to, but like,
yeah, I mean, go for it.
The restart should be the Batman. Like, the Batman worked and fit and could do its own thing while also allowing for other elements to exist. Like, Batman exists in the DC universe and has street crime and, you know, street level crime fighters, but also there is a King of Atlantis and an island of Amazonians and planets with characters on them.
Matt Reeves did such a good job of keeping the Batman so self-contained.
Yes.
That they didn't, it's not like they referenced, oh, there's no other superheroes in this world. Like, I think they did that in the Dark Knight trilogy. Like, they referenced, like,
I think they did,
there's no one else but you.
Certainly Christopher Nolan said that stuff. Like, Christopher Nolan was like, as far as I'm concerned, there is no other Superman. I think I remember Matt Reeves saying something like, we thought about having a Superman in this universe, but he was, like, unpowered, not from Krypton, and just wore an outfit. And I'm like, thank God you didn't do that, because I think the Batman's the restart and should be the template for the new DC universe, which I think Hassan said in one of our videos, where it's like he called it the DC universe, which is exactly what they should call it. They shouldn't call it the DCEU. They shouldn't call it the DC Cinematic Unit. Like, call it something that is that says DC and doesn't connect it to what we did before.
Right. I mean, imagine if at the end of Flashpoint, Ezra Miller's Flash comes out of the portal. It's a new Flash.
Yep,
he's
new
looking
Flash.
at Robert Pattinson just like at the end of Flashpoint, and they're both in the Batcave, and they just continue on in the costume so that people can make the reference.
You don't even need you don't even need Robert Pattinson on set. You could have new Flash, whoever you recast, because you must. Like, at this point, you have to reshoot the ending and have new Flash run through the portal.
Yeah,
like, that
100%.
is if you don't do that, then I can't believe you're serious about starting your universe. So new Flash runs out.
You cannot have an article in which Ezra Miller is breaking the law monthly.
Yeah, right.
And expect me to be like, okay, I'm on board with this guy. Is
committing
Flash.
federal crime, and is also going to be available for the press tour. It's just not going to happen. So, Greg Gustin.
Side note, they finally got caught with the robbery, right?
Yeah, that's right.
I was reading the article. I don't know how true this is. I was just reading an article.
Yeah.
But apparently, they let them go, and wanted them to come back for a court date.
Right. Like, what are you doing?
They finally caught Ezra Miller.
Yes.
And they let him go.
They let them go. And they what did they do? It's like, if ever they're a flight risk, that's them.
Yeah.
But, so new actor runs through the portal, but new actor who is the new Flash, who has been the old Flash, who maybe even remembers the Snyderverse but won't talk about it, can just look at a TV screen, a convenient TV, that shows the ending of the Batman, where Batman's helping people and he's becoming that symbol of hope. A Batman who's, like, more open to maybe working with other superheroes, because the first Batman is, like, scary. Like, the beginning of that movie, he's scary, like, messed up, vengeance Batman. But by the end, he's like, I have to be a symbol of hope as well. So, like, you see... Because, I mean, they would report on it. You'd see, like, helicopters and flooding in Gotham and Batman doing his thing, and Flash going, like... He's like half the age of the last Batman I saw. Things are different. And you don't even need Robert Pattinson to show up. You just show a scene from that like it's from the perspective of the news and just go like, the Batman is now... Flashpoint is kind of like the bridge between those universes, but the Batman is the, like, new standard. And then the next movies, you just make Flash movies, Superman movies, Wonder Woman movies with directors and writers and creators who tonally match those characters,
right,
but also can come together if they need to do things like a World's Finest movie or a Trinity movie or another Justice League movie down the line. But that's where you go with
Here's
it.
a question. I'm going to give Tevye this one. Normally, no offense, Tevye, but we ignore the questions because you just ask them without even waiting for answers. But this one is going to be something a lot of people ask. Why do we need a Flashpoint? And the reason I think we do, and we should use it, is because it's one of DC's most famous stories in general. And it literally is a universe resetting event.
Yeah.
It's so popular that they've got a new series called Flashpoint Beyond. That they've done it animated, that they've done a regular one, and now they're doing a live action. It's just the concept of going back in time and changing everything is huge in science fiction. But they did it as a viable, working DC Comics storyline.
Right.
So use that as your reboot. Then you don't have to throw anything out. You just say it's all merged in. Now, I also want to comment. A lot of people were saying Robert Pattinson is too young to be Batman with Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot. Robert Pattinson's 36, Henry Cavill is 39, and Gal Gadot is 37. So
no, actually, he's not. He just looks good for his age, but he's not. He's not. End of story. It's just no. He's younger than the guy who played him when that Batman character was with those other two actors. That's it.
Right.
No, just no.
How old is
the other reason
Ben
why
Affleck
they're
is
doing
49. So
right. The reason why they're doing Flashpoint is because they already made the damn thing, and it probably cost like $250 million. I don't know what the budget for Flash is, but I assume based on the amount of visual effects you're going to see in that movie, it's probably ballooned. Plus the reshoots they have to accomplish. There's so much work.
They were
that
already
has to go
doing
into this.
reshoots before Ezra Miller's court and legal issues.
Before they collapsed as a human being. So you know, the reason why they're doing it is twofold. It's because they already spent the money, and it is also I remember reading a rumor, and it's a rumor. So and I don't believe them, but if they are to be believed, there's a rumor that internally Flashpoint or The Flash is also just good. It's a solid movie. That
every screener test that I have seen on it everyone's it's great, it's amazing, it's actually a really solid movie.
Right.
They did a good job on it, apparently.
Yeah, it's just a shame that the lead, who plays multiple characters in this movie, imploded.
Yeah.
And so, what do we do about that? And it's what you do is you just divorce yourself from that actor, cut them loose, and then you recast the ending and move on. You also dissolve their contract because you don't want to have this movie work really well and then have them sue the hell out of you.
I also, we've said this multiple times, Ezra Miller chose the worst movie ever to lose their shit.
Right. You could have done that at Justice League and we would have been fine.
It's just, no, but it's just saying this is the movie that they can replace without any consequence.
That's true. Yeah.
It
this
makes
isn't
total sense to replace.
Yeah, it'd be if a Zachary Levi imploded now. For Shazam 2, oh man, no, but we need you. You are Shazam.
Right. How do we fix that? Or Henry Cavill just not putting his face in
You just
anything.
straight up can't. But with Flash, he can just run into a portal and come out and be another actor. No one would bat an eye.
Someone in our chat suggested, what if they were to just kill off Barry Allen and bring in a Wally West? I'd be down with that.
I mean, yeah, I think I think it would come across as mean-spirited, even if there is a history in the comics to allow that to happen.
I think it would be mean-spirited if they did it in South Park when they killed off Chef.
Right. That was mean. But I think people would look, especially because, Ezra Miller's non-binary, and they clearly have mental health issues, and so it's to just
this has gone beyond just a diva complex.
Right,
there's an actual mental health issue happening.
Right,
here.
but so what they can't do is just have Barry Allen died on his way to his home planet. They can't just kill them and laugh about it. You have to have. I think it's actually a little bit less insulting to just recast the damn thing because you've made it intolerable. You've created a problem. It's a reference, people.
Let's move forward on the discussion because I think we've got to harp on this one a little bit. So if we were going to reboot, how would we do it, Sal? If a real reboot.
Straight up
no
reboot.
No Snyderverse. They're going to close out on Flashpoint with a brand new universe starting from scratch. I mean, they did it at the end of Justice League Dark movie.
Yeah.
Where Barry went back and they're we're just going to restart.
We're just going to restart. Even you, Barry.
Over.
Yeah.
I loved that ending because they failed. It didn't work and they had to just end the universe.
Yeah.
That was a great animated ending to that series.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. And it's rare that you actually got an ending to it.
So let's say they did that. The ending
Yeah.
of this one is Barry sitting at the mess, and he's like, I'm just going to go back, and I'm going to put it all back the way it was.
Yes.
And we come back and we get a brand new universe. How would you do it, Sal?
I would do what I described, which is like, even if I was able, if we could end the Flashpoint movie where it's like he runs away and we don't even see what happens, like we don't see the resultant like reboot, then we just let it die. Like we kill that universe.
Oh, that's what I was saying. He runs off. It's
he runs
over.
off. Light flash into the screen, and the movie ends.
Right.
Then we're starting over. You start over. You use the Batman. I think the Batman is excellent, and I think it sets a tone, which is that like each universe.
I agree with that. But for the sake of this argument, let's say that's going to happen, but they're going to leave the Batman as a separate universe, Joker is a separate universe. They're not touching
like
it.
Pattinson's not coming back.
Right.
It's just like the Batman's a one-off. They're not going to make any more Pattinson Batman movies because
right. Let's for the sake of this argument, because right now he's not attached to it, but
right.
The ones that are still attached are Gal Gadot, Henry Cavill, Jason Momoa, The Rock, and Zachary Levi. So let's say they're all back in the new one. Okay, you got those actors back.
That would complicate everything. No, I'd fire everybody. I'd
Just
let it
fire
all
across
go.
the board. They're never going to fire The Rock, but
no. Yeah, and The Rock is one of those situations where it's like the Black Adam movie you could just let happen because A, it takes place in the past, B, it deals with the JSA, which we're not going to use too much, and C, it is so far removed from the Trinity, which is what the DC, the new head of Warner Brothers Discovery wants to focus on. You know, they want to focus on Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. So it's like, oh, you want to make a Black Adam movie? Knock yourself out. Like, because if we're going to establish we're going to make other DC movies, go for it. Jason Momoa, you're back, but you're Lobo. Like,
that'd be cool.
That's the Lobo movie that's like $65-70 million, like Batgirl, only it is about Lobo, like, you know, doing a bounty hunt, and it's like, or you do it like Dredd, where it's like a bottle episode, and he's in one location, he's trying to get out, you know, but like something that's trim and cool and showcases that character in a fun way.
I would do it, and it would still be convoluted, but it would fall in line with comic books in DC. I would continue a Black Adam 2. Yeah. I would basically in each of these movies, the next Wonder Woman, Man of Steel 2, I would reference the previous movie that is in canon and basically go from their origin movies that didn't relate. So like Henry Cavill shows up, we're doing Man of Steel 2, and he goes, yeah, that Zod thing that happened last week. Like,
but he's visibly 10 years older. Like, that's the problem that I have with those, with like using Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot, is that like it was 10 years ago. Like, if you have a 10-year plan, you got to start younger. Like, you got to skew different. You've got to, you know, you can't have Superman be 60. It just doesn't.
That's the problem right now with like the rumors that Robert Downey Jr. is going to come back, which I didn't believe when Secret War was going to be like 10 years out.
Right. But now that it's like 2?
Yeah, now that it's like 2, he might come back because he still won't be 60.
No, you know, he'll come back and be Iron Man in that movie, and then he won't be back anymore. Like, that'll be that.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, when people were like, oh, they're coming back for Secret Wars, and I was like, no way, they're going to come back at, like, 2000. Yeah, like hey. 65. Without it being some fun cameo. No, they're not going to do anything. But no, with it being in 2025, I'm like, no, he probably is coming back. So is probably Chris Evans. So is probably, like, the whole original Avengers is probably coming back for a big finale send-off kind of
Absolutely.
thing. No, almost in the manner of, like, Ghostbusters, where, like, they were like, okay, here's the originals. They're still here, but the guys that are going to win are the new kids because we need them to win so we can send it off.
I think they're going to be like, no, the old guys are going to win because that's what you want to see. You want to see Endgame too. But, like, the new guys are going to keep making the franchise money. Like, so.
Right. What if the new guys fail in Kang Dynasty, so Secret Wars has them come back?
That's just Infinity War Endgame. Because Infinity War was look, you know who disappeared? Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, all the new people. The people who survived were the original Avengers, so they could save the day and save their replacements. They can't do that again.
Back to DC. DC.
But DC, no, I think that, like, Black Adam, like, you got things in production, Shazam, Black Adam, their Magic, their JSA, like, you can just keep those going. Because they didn't put Shazam in Peacemaker or Justice League.
And other than a Batarang and a Superman suit, Shazam didn't link at all. It was like, Batman and Superman exist, and these happen to be the props on the set today.
Exactly.
But that could work for anything.
Exactly. Now they link, like, in as much as they say those characters' names. That's all we know. So we can loosely reboot using those characters. That's fine.
So, but you're saying Henry Cavill, Gal Gadot, and Ben Affleck are out at this point.
They got to be out, and I like those actors, and I think they're doing a good job, but, like, I think they're out. I think they have to be out in order to preserve the future of these franchises, especially if you're going to do, especially since Wonder Woman 84 sucks.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You have one good Wonder Woman movie, which is great, but you could make,
Dude,
if you want to make...
What happened with 84? How do you go from Wonder Woman, an incredible movie, to 84 where I'm like 30% of this is watchable, the other 70% I don't know what the hell's happening?
It's just, I don't know. But, like, the funny thing is, with that movie, with Wonder Woman 84, even that could be like a one-off. It doesn't tether to anything. It's not really connected. It's not really a problem. It's just not terribly good. But
well, the Wonder Woman, luckily, all of her movies take place before everything, so you can
true. They're all
easily
in the
take her
past.
again. Yeah. They're not linked. Same thing with Black Adam, and you could say the same thing for Shazam. The only problem is going to be Batfleck. I even think Man of Steel could work to an extent.
Yeah.
Because you could just reference that he's died and moved on, and that's the end of that.
Yeah, honestly, like, Black Adam and Shazam, those movies are very connected to that universe in as much as, like, the tone and the casting and the and the fact that, like, it's so lived in at this point, and it's lived in by those old actors and characters. I think you make your Black Adam movie, you make your Shazam 2. We're not making a Shazam 3, and those kids are getting older by the second. And Black Adam, maybe we'll make one more Black Adam movie, but, like, the real shift is this new Trinity we're rebooting. Like, new Batman, new Superman, new Wonder Woman, and new universe.
Okay, let's just say you're right. We recast everybody. We just redo the whole thing.
Yeah.
I think, in all honesty, and I know people didn't like it that much the way it turned out, but the start of the New 52 would be a great way to start this. New 52 went off the rails about 2 years in, but when it started, and we all had hope for what was coming and how they were going to link everything together, that was fun because you had a Batman that had been around for a while.
Yeah.
You had a Superman that was just showing up. And we didn't have to dive into their origins.
Right.
I almost want to say we start...
No origins.
We don't start with origins.
Yeah.
We just kick it off with a Batman movie, a Superman movie, a Green Lantern, a Flash, a Wonder Woman, and then we do that Justice League plot from the very first story, where they all end up coming together for the big fight.
The problem is you also have to pick a different villain because Darkseid is so in... The reason they shit-canned the Tom King New Gods movie is because of the Snyder Cut. Like, you can't have Darkseid. It has to be something else.
For the sake of the movie, you just make Superman the bad guy. The whole first Justice League...
Yawn!
No, I'm just saying, the first Justice League is the first 3 issues of that book.
Yeah, I don't
where
like
they're
that
fighting
book.
Superman. I like that book.
No, that book is not very good. But it is a movie pitch.
Yeah. And the idea is Superman is still a good guy, but there's a misunderstanding.
Right.
And I know, we've seen it 100 times.
That's literally the plot of Batman vs. Superman.
Yeah.
Like, that does not interest me.
Okay, fine. You open it with a big bang. Everyone has their own solo movies, and they end up having to come together because Brainiac arrived.
There you go.
Something totally new.
It's the friggin' video game, right? Like, that's all you need.
Brainiac or Starro. No, they did Starro, so we get to Starro again.
Yeah.
Brainiac shows up, mind controls Superman, which is how they all end up meeting because he goes to fight Batman. But it's 2 seconds because we already did an actual fight. 2 seconds, and Batman's like, I gotta call him for help.
Right.
I know some people. And he calls in help to take out Superman. They realize he's mind controlled. Fight Brainiac movie. I pitched it.
Yeah, I don't.
And
like
this is after 5 movies of each Justice League member getting an intro.
Yeah. I mean, like the intro is great. Again, mind control Superman, evil Superman is just so yawn to me. I'm like, I'm out. Like, I'm out of your evil
mind
Superman.
control Batman.
Why do the heroes need to fight in all of these
movies? Because it's a superhero. They did it in Avengers 1.
Oh, yeah, because of Hawkeye, I guess. I mean, like,
they fought against Hawkeye, and they had a battle against Thor. There was a misunderstanding.
Right.
And then they're like, okay, fine, now we got to work together.
Right. I mean, if you want to put
it's
in your
the law of superheroes. Even Deadpool cracks on it. Okay, now we got to
you want to have your misunderstanding, but, like, I'm not interested in watching, like, Superman be evil or mind controlled for 45 minutes. Like, that is so not interesting to me. If you want to make it so that they don't understand each other or they don't work well together, that's fine. But, like, do it like Avengers. Don't make it like friggin' Injustice. Like, no one's...
Yeah,
like,
no, I won't.
That's not interesting.
I do... As much as I'd love to see a live-action, full-blown Injustice series...
Right.
I also, at this point, feel we need just a traditional Justice League universe.
You need at least some kind of foundation. You need them to, like, know who these characters are when they're not at their worst.
Right.
So that when they're, pushed to the limit, you're like, wow.
Well, that was the biggest issue. As much as I love Batman versus Superman, we got into Batman's at his worst. Okay,
right.
We haven't seen this Batman beyond that.
Yeah.
This Batman is branding people and lost a Robin. When did all of that happen?
Right.
Are we supposed to believe that was Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Was that George Clooney?
Right.
What happened?
No. They were just like, I don't know. Well, the thing is, like, for Snyder, is like, I don't care. I'm not interested in watching a young, inexperienced or a young, very experienced Batman. I want to do, like, miserable branding Batman. You know, the Justice League animated series did a great job of, like, bringing the Trinity / like Justice League together with, like, alien invasion, the White Martians and stuff like that. Like, that's something you could do. You could also, I mean, like, the Darkheart was a great plot. Like, you could just rip off any of those things, or you could do the New 52, because that was a genuine misunderstanding in an Avengers kind of way, where it's like they don't know who each other is, or Batman is aware of who they are, but, like, and manipulates Green Lantern into working with him because they're both human beings. Like, there are some things you could do in that work.
Pretty sure it was Batman, Green Lantern, and Flash versus Superman, right? And then Superman finally was just like, hold on.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Right, exactly. No, yeah. It's mostly Batman and Green Lantern versus Superman. But I think Flash...
I thought Flash showed up towards
Flash
the
does
end.
show up, yeah. But, like, the thing everybody remembers is Batman and Green Lantern, like, arguing and trying to fight Superman. And Green Lantern being like a jackass about it. But, like...
Right, Superman literally breaking constructs. Like, BOW!
Yeah. But, you know, you want... You want to divorce yourself as much as possible from the last one. So you don't want to think Batman versus Superman when you're seeing this movie. Like, you got to think fresh start.
So they do all those solo ones,
Yes.
and we just start with them making the Justice League.
Right. Or you start with a Batman-Superman team-up movie, or you start with a Batman-Superman-Wonder Woman team-up movie, or you put characters in each other's movies, like an Ant-Man, like something that widens the universe and makes the audience excited about these cameos, so that when you see the big one, they all show up for it, you know?
Dude, in all honesty, if they just went hard into the team-up... Marvel has only done, one true team-up movie, and that was Spider-Man.
Well, Thor Ragnarok, I think, is like a Hulk.
Okay, I'll give you two then. But I mean, out of like 30 movies or whatever, we got 2 proper team ups, and they weren't even billed that way.
No.
What if the new DC universe started with a Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman movie, Green Lantern, Flash? We get the 5 pinnacles.
Yes,
okay?
that's fine with me. Yeah.
Okay, we start with the 5 pinnacles, but then instead of Justice League, that's like phase 2.
Exactly.
We just have a world finest Batman Superman movie.
Yeah,
we have a GL and Flash team up movie.
Right. That's
Wonder
what I'm
Woman
asking
meets
for.
up with Black Adam.
Right.
Like, we do that. Like,
no, you build your universe out and you see these combo movies. Hell, like all your sequels. Like, one of the things that I've been pitching for Marvel's phase whatever is these should be the combo movies. Like Ant-Man and the Wasp is a great title. And it's fun, but like Wasp is in the MCU. Wasp is an Ant-Man supporting character.
Right. She never got a solo movie.
Right. So it's not
if
exciting.
It was like if you want to do that, what if it was like Ant-Man and Miss Marvel, Ant-Man and Captain Marvel? Like that would be fun and unique.
Yeah, like the next Spider-Man movie should be called Spider-Man and Daredevil. Like it should be that. Like those should be the MCU's like next phases is combo movies. But,
I got an even better idea. I got a through line because they're going to want a through line, something popping up.
Oh, true.
We don't show a big bad.
No.
What if our through line is John Constantine investigating something? Something is coming.
Right.
So at the end of every movie, our catch is like John Constantine's taking notes, smoking a cigarette.
There you go. That'd be fun.
That's the end of Batman. We get to the end of Superman. Aliens. This could be useful against these demons. And then you're like, demons? What? Then we get to like Green Lantern, you know? And at the end of the whole thing, he's like, Mephisto called that demon here. And you're like, not Mephisto, but like, you know what I'm saying? But let me keep rolling with it. Yeah. Trigon was a part of this. And you just keep dropping hints.
Yeah.
And the one who brings the Justice League together is Constantine.
Yeah.
To fight somebody like Trigon, who we've never seen.
Nope.
No one will see it coming until after the first end credit scene.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about this the other day because I was thinking about like DC comic book events, and the last one that I was like thinking about, there was one with where the Dominators invaded Earth, because I was thinking how everything is always like the universe is going to be destroyed, the multiverse is going to collapse, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be fun to just see an alien invasion event where it's just like, we got to get our people together, we got to fight like these multiple fronts, space, land, secret invasions, that kind of thing. And they did that in the 80s or early 90s, and that was Invasion, and they did it for the CW universe. But like, Age of Ultron is kind of like a palate cleanser in as much as it almost has nothing to do with the Infinity Saga. It's just like, oh yeah, and by the way, Iron Man screwed up and there's like an evil robot for a little while. Don't worry, we killed him. Now we can deal with Thanos. Like, I would love it if you did that, where it's like, there was, right before the big bad, before Trigon or something, you do a little like, maybe it's Brainiac, or maybe it's Mongol. You do a thing where it's like
we set up for
War World.
Like
you do,
what if Starro just comes back? We just
Starro.
do the original Justice League. And because we get a reboot, so we don't have to reference the Suicide Squad.
No, but you could.
Apparently, no one saw it anyway.
That's the thing. Is Suicide Squad is one of those things where, like, yeah, that happened, but like, did it? I mean, whatever. Like, it is so unconnected. Like, you could keep that, or at the very least, you could you could go.
Our chat is saying Vandal Savage would be a great starter villain.
I love that too. Yeah, Vandal Savage is a great villain. Gorilla Grodd. You do like an invasion of the gorillas, like. Some kind of fun, esoteric, distinctly DC villain.
The 10-year villain, though, I could totally see them doing this with just how much he doesn't seem to go away.
Yeah.
It's going to be Batman Who Laughs this time around. If they set this up, 10-year villain's going to be Batman Who Laughs. That's going to be the big bad end villain.
Oh my God. Because, like, here's the thing. I hate the Batman Who Laughs, but the Batman Who Laughs makes money. Like, every time the Batman Who Laughs appears in a comic book, sales go up at least 10%. The Batman Who Laughs prints money. So if you were to tell, like, your audience, they're doing their thing, they're fighting Starros and Mongols and alien invaders and Vandal Savage, like, people who are 1 million years old, and then, like, Shayera shows up, and she's like, this is a map of the multiverse. And they're like, ah, geez. And she goes, yeah. She flips it over, and she's like, there's a dark multiverse. Yeah, and it's and it's bleeding into our reality. Hell, you could also like by like year 8, you could also say the dark multiverse tried to penetrate us like our universe several years prior with like a much darker world where Batman was branding people and Superman was snapping necks and stuff. Something like that. But the Batman Who Laughs is coming, and it's just the guy who plays Batman, but as the Joker. Or you cast a fun person as the Batman Who Laughs because it doesn't matter.
The fact is, because our chat say the same thing that you and I both feel, Batman Who Laughs is overplayed.
Yeah,
he's overplayed in the comic book world. But what they have done a good job of is not putting him elsewhere yet.
Right.
He hasn't popped up. Fortnite. But what I'm saying is, I was talking to a buddy, and the guy had to explain who this Batman Who Laughs in Fortnite. Because if you don't read comics, the Batman Who Laughs is just some cool cover art.
Right.
You don't know who he is.
Yeah, you almost don't even know he's a character.
So you bring him to the mainstream audience?
Yeah.
Like, that's going to print money because he'll be... Yes, us comic book fans would be like, oh my God, will he go away?
Yes. Right, but in the movie, the thing is, in the movie, they'll kill him for real because they can't help themselves. Like, but if you made your Thanos the Batman Who Laughs... That would sell tickets, and it would boost. No, it would sell. That's such from a marketing perspective. I don't care. The comments are gonna be like, I hate that idea, and you guys are stupid. And it's like, yeah, and that's why you don't make movies, like, because that is $1 million idea.
I mean, because you could easily by phase 3 start setting up like, all of these things have been orchestrated by one man, as smart as you, Bruce.
Right.
He is you.
And hell, like, you could do, like, oh God, like, it would be so cool to see, like, the next rebooted Batman movie is, like, The Court of Owls. Just an adaptation of The Court of Owls. So it's like, we've seen intricate, weaved bad guys. Like, we've seen this thing before, but then it's like, none of that compares to
I was gonna say, the idea behind this is
Batman
Who Laughs is the end goal. He's the Thanos.
He's the
We
Thanos.
didn't see Thanos other than post-credit scenes until the end of phase 3.
Yeah, until his second to last movie ever.
Like, we don't need, Batman Who Laughs wouldn't show up. He'd be implied. We'll get Court of Owls, Mongol, we'll get Brainiac, we'll get all of these.
Yeah, you get, like, Gorilla City, you get, like, in a Flash movie. That'd be so fun, especially if, like, the Flash movie was Flash and Green Lantern dealing with Gorilla City. Like, so you get, like, a wider universe that showcases all this fun stuff, and then you could earn an end game where the Batman Who Laughs is throwing the kitchen sink at the DC universe, and they're like, we're gonna need like a psychic gorilla, we're gonna need like a Blue Beetle, like we're gonna need a wizard, like we're gonna need Zatanna, like you could throw new characters at this problem, or have them be like fun cameo linchpins, and explore that universe even greater than you already had for the last 6 years.
Right.
And also out of the wreckage of the dark multiverse or the of Dark Knight's Metal, the movie, you then have like you're essentially like a better Phase 4 of Marvel, where it's like, yeah, and now we make like $40 to $80 million movies about like Zatanna and Blue Beetle, and like we're ready for that because we've already made a universe here that can support all of this stuff, and because we spent 10 years building it, you know the rules, and that's the most important thing about a shared universe, is knowing the rules and knowing the players. Like, who's your through line? Who are your protagonists? Whose eyes am I seeing this universe through? And when you establish that, like, because it was Iron Man's for all the MCU, it was Iron Man. We were seeing that universe through his eyes, and then he died, and now we're like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know where we are. I can't tether myself because there's no protagonist of the MCU now, and that's like part of the reason why people
got rid of them. They got rid of them. Basically Captain America and Iron Man.
Yeah,
as proven by Civil War, they were the linchpins of that universe, and they're both gone.
Right. And no one knows what to do, and like people are talking, they have theories and all stuff, and it's like, no, because there's no protagonist for this universe anymore. And it's like, yeah, I know Iron Man didn't see the Guardians of the Galaxy, but all you wanted to see was Iron Man react to the Guardians of the Galaxy. That's why we see Iron Man interact with Nebula. But like, and Peter Quill.
No, I thought he messed with Peter Quill. Yeah,
he does. But like, we finally see it, you know. But like, in the MCU now, who's our protagonist? It can't be Spider-Man because technically they don't even own the character. So it's like he can be a big deal, but he can't actually affect any major change. Like, change can happen because of him, but he can't be the one to lead us there. That's why he can't really lead the Avengers anymore, or at all, because he doesn't technically like belong here because Sony won't like just give it up. In this case with DC, you could be Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. Those are the people we are following. That's our Trinity. Batman is our through line, or Superman is our through line. That's our protagonist, and we want to see this universe through the eyes of, or compared to these characters. And then when we get to the end, you set it up new characters, but like new protagonists.
I honestly, it's DC. DC does not set up new characters. No. I think at the end of the 10-year plan, we conclude with a crisis, and you recast and tell new stories. But we get a new Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman. We keep going.
Yeah, you could.
Because that's the problem. That's the pitfall the MCU is running into right now.
Yeah.
They made Iron Man, Captain America, and Thor their Trinity. They made them popular. Yeah. These characters, while they were popular before, were nowhere near the popularity they have now.
No.
And we don't have a character that is on that level now.
No. I mean, we should. As DC does. They just don't know how to handle it because they don't have a producer who likes the source material and has enough clout to influence their bottom line. Like, and that's why.
But what I'm saying is, even if you reboot with another Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, maybe you don't even make their movies, but they're there and they show up. Well, because I think you're right. That's part of the problem right now. Yeah, well, I'm saying that's the part of the problem, though, is that Iron Man doesn't show up.
Yeah.
When he showed up as Spider-Man, that was exciting.
Yeah.
You know?
When he showed up in Avengers, it was exciting.
Yeah. So, all right, this has been a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but this is how we would reboot DC. It's a lot of ideas, but what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments down below. And don't forget to click the links down below, checking out our sponsors. G Fuel, use the code comics at checkout, and click the link for Into the AM. Check out some cool graphic designs. I'm not wearing one today because I kind of flew in here in a hurry.
Yeah.
But I will wear them for the next show. So, thank you guys. We'll see you next time right here.